The 1981 kindergarten photo, the 25th child. When Sarah Mitchell found her mother's old school yearbook in the attic, she wasn't looking for anything unusual. Just memories. Nostalgia. But when she reached page 47, she stopped breathing. There, in the kindergarten class photo from 1981, were 25 children. The problem? According to school records, there were only 24 students in that class. And the 25th child? No one, absolutely no one, knows who he is. It was October 2024. Sarah Mitchell was preparing her childhood home in Portland for sale while her mother Margaret battled Alzheimer's in a nursing facility. Margaret no longer recognized this house. She would sit in her room, stare out the window, and couldn't even remember Sarah's name. But this box was different. Inside were old photographs, report cards, a diploma, and a thick, blue-bound school yearbook. Gold letters on the cover read, Riverside Elementary School, 1981-82. When Sarah picked up the yearbook, a strange feeling washed over her. Her mother's hands had touched these pages. Her mother's classmates smiled from these pages. But these were people her mother could no longer remember. She flipped through. First grade. Second grade. Third grade. Then page 47. The kindergarten class photo. A simple header at the top, Mrs. Hartwell's kindergarten class, Spring 1981. And below, the children. Little faces arranged in 3 rows. Front row kneeling. Middle row seated. Back row standing. Sarah immediately found her mother. Front row, third from the left. Little Margaret O'Brien. Wearing a blue dress with a white collar. Short brown hair. Smiling. Sarah smiled. Then she started counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. 14, 15, 16. 23, 24. 25. She stopped. Counted again. 25 children. But something had bothered her. She thought to herself, kindergarten classes usually have 20 to 25 students. Normal. But then she saw the small text beneath the photo. Mrs. Eleanor Hartwell and her 1981 kindergarten class. 24 students. 24. Sarah looked at the photo again. Counted again. Slowly. Carefully. 25 children were there. Her heart raced. Maybe she'd miscounted. Maybe one child appeared twice. Maybe the photo had been overlapped. But no. Each child was clearly visible. All in different positions. None were duplicated. And then, she saw him. Back row. Fourth from the left. A boy wearing a red striped shirt. Brown hair. Fair skin. Maybe 5 years old. And he was smiling. But such a smile. Sarah's skin crawled. Because that smile was wrong. Too wide. Too fixed. As if forced. And his eyes. God, his eyes. The other children were looking at the camera. But this child was looking differently. Not directly at the lens. As if beyond the lens. At Sarah. Right now. In 2024. Sarah closed the yearbook. Took a breath. Don't be ridiculous, Sarah, she told herself. It's just an old photograph. But the voice inside wouldn't stop. Who was this child? Sarah went home that night but couldn't sleep. The yearbook sat there on the living room coffee table, as if it were calling to her. At 2:47 a.m., she couldn't resist. She got up, turned on the lights, opened the yearbook. Page 47. 25 children. This time she took a photo with her phone. Zoomed in. Examined each child individually. Front row, left to right. 1. Margaret O'Brien, her mother. 2. Amy Chan. 3. Robert Davies. 4. Jennifer Walsh. 5. Michael Brennan. 6. Lisa Kowalski. Middle row, left to right. 7. David Park. 8. Emily Foster. 9. Thomas Wright. 10. Maria Gonzalez. 11. Kevin Murphy. 12. Sarah Lindstrom. 13. Daniel Kim. 14. Rachel Hoffman. Back row, left to right. 15. Christopher Bell. 16. Amanda Stevens. 17. Brian Mitchell. 18. Samantha Cruz. 19. NO1, red striped shirt. 20. Gregory Palmer. 21. Nicole Richardson. 22. Timothy Brooks. 23. Jessica Tran. 24. Matthew Sullivan. 25. Rebecca Owens. Sarah noticed something. In the 19th position, no name. In another list at the bottom of the photo, student names were written in alphabetical order. But in the 19th position, blank. As if someone had erased that name. Or, it had never been written. Sarah opened her computer. Typed Riverside Elementary School 1981 into Google. The school was still open, but now called Riverside STEAM Academy. She went to their website. Checked the history section under About Us. There was a list of former administrators, former teachers, but nothing specific about 1981. Then she typed Eleanor Hartwell. The first result was an obituary. Eleanor Marie Hartwell, 89, passed away peacefully in 2019. She taught kindergarten at Riverside Elementary School for 34 years. She touched the lives of hundreds of students. Sarah's heart sank. Mrs. Hartwell was dead. She couldn't ask her. But wait. Below the notice was a phone number. For information, contact Linda Hartwell Morrison, her daughter. Sarah took a deep breath. It was 3 in the morning. But tomorrow she would call. Linda Hartwell Morrison answered on the 3rd ring. Hello. Hi, my name is Sarah Mitchell. I wanted to ask something about your mother. Silence on the other end. My mother died in 2019. I know. I'm so sorry. I'm the daughter of one of her former students. My mother was in her class in 1981. Oh. Linda's voice softened. I see. What did you want to know? Sarah hesitated. Then continued. I found your mother's 1981 kindergarten class photo. And I noticed something strange. There are 25 children in the photo, but the caption says 24 students. Do you know anything about this? A long silence on the other end. Then Linda spoke. But her voice had changed. Tense. Trembling. Where did you find that photo? In my mother's old yearbook. Which child are you asking about? Back row. The one in the red striped shirt. Linda caught her breath. Please, Linda said. Throw that photo away. Now. What? Why? Because that child shouldn't have been there. Sarah's skin crawled. What do you mean? Linda's voice became a whisper. My mother talked about this in her final years. As the Alzheimer's progressed, she forgot some things. But some things she remembered very clearly. And that photo terrified her. Why? Because my mother said she only had 24 students in spring 1981. Exactly. She kept attendance. Every morning. No child got sick. No transfers came. 24 children. 24 at the start of the term. 24 at the end. But in the photo, there are 25. I know. My mother knew. And it was driving her crazy. Sarah swallowed. So who is that child? We don't know. My mother went to the school administration. They checked the records. 24 students were enrolled in kindergarten that year. No extra names. No transfer documents. That child, officially, had never existed. That's impossible. I know. But it's true. After my mother retired in 2015, she went through all the old yearbooks trying to find that photo. She found it. And she discovered something else. What? That child only appears in that one photo. Not in other photos taken during the term. Not in the field trip photos. Not in the Christmas show. Not in the last day photo. Only on that picture day. Sarah's hand was trembling. And then? Then my mother tried to forget about it. But she couldn't. Every year, when spring came, she would take out that photo and look at it. And every time she'd say the same thing, that child shouldn't have been there. That child should never have been there. Did she say anything else? Linda paused. Once she told me, when we took the photo that day, nothing seemed strange. I counted them all. 24. But when the photos came back, he was there. And no one remembered him. Sarah felt sick. Thank you, Linda. Sarah, Linda interrupted. Please. Don't mess with that photo. Before my mother died, she said one last thing. That child wasn't real. But now, maybe he is. The line went dead. Sarah put down the phone. She was shaking. But she couldn't stop. Because now she needed to know. Who was that child? For the next 3 days, Sarah tried to find the other students from the 1981 class. She searched on Facebook. Searched on LinkedIn. Checked old phone directories. And finally, she found one. Jennifer Walsh. Now Jennifer Palmer. Living in Seattle. A real estate agent. Sarah sent her a message. Hi Jennifer, my name is Sarah Mitchell. My mother Margaret O'Brien was in the same kindergarten class with you in 1981 at Riverside. I want to ask about the class photo. Can we talk? The reply came within an hour. Which photo? The 1981 spring term class photo. Mrs. Hartwell's class. No reply came. Sarah waited. 1 hour. 2 hours. Then her phone rang. Unknown number. Hello. Sarah. The woman's voice was tense. Yes. This is Jennifer. You're talking about that child, aren't you? Sarah's heart raced. Which child? The one in the red shirt. Yes. Jennifer took a deep breath. I remember him. Sarah froze. What? I remember. I mean, I think I do. It's not very clear. But there's something in a corner of my mind. Like a shadow. What do you remember? Picture day. Mid-April 1981. We lined up in the yard. Mrs. Hartwell arranged us. I was in front. I remember because my knees were touching the grass. They felt damp. Go on. The photographer took 3 pictures. In the first one, someone closed their eyes. In the second, Michael moved. The third was good. Then Mrs. Hartwell took us all back to class. And that child? That's where everything gets blurry. Because I don't remember him. I mean, I don't remember an extra child being there that day. But a week later, the yearbooks came. Mrs. Hartwell showed us our photos. And, for a moment I saw someone in the back row and thought, who's that? But then I forgot. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like he was erased from our minds. Sarah was covered in goosebumps. Does anyone else remember this? I don't know. But Sarah, there's something else. What? That year, a week before the term ended, Mrs. Hartwell did something strange. She gathered us all in class and asked, how many of us were in class this year? We all shouted 24. And she smiled. But it was a sad smile. And she said, yes. 24. Only 24. What did that mean? I don't know. But now that I think about it, it's like she was trying to remind us of something. Or herself. Sarah couldn't stop again. She needed to find the person who took Riverside Elementary's photos in 1981. She checked the back covers of old yearbooks. Written with a small logo, Classic's Professional Photography, Portland, Oregon. The company still existed. But now called Classics Digital. Their website had a contact form. Sarah wrote an email. Hello, I'm looking for information about class photos taken at Riverside Elementary School in 1981. Specifically the kindergarten class. Are there original negatives or digital copies available? Is there someone who can help me with this? The reply came 3 days later. Dear Miss Mitchell, our 1981 archives are very old, but we checked. Riverside Elementary photos from 1975 to 1990 were taken by Mr. Leonard Thorne. Mr. Thorne retired in 1998 and unfortunately passed away in 2017. However, his son Marcus Thorne has his father's old archives. You can find contact information in the attached file. Sarah immediately called Marcus Thorne. Hello, I'm Sarah Mitchell. According to information from Classics. Are you calling about the 1981 Riverside kindergarten photo? Marcus interrupted. Sarah froze. Yes. How do you know? Because you're the 10th person. What? In the last 5 years, 10 different people have contacted me about that photo. They all asked the same thing, who is that child? Sarah's breath caught. And, what did you tell them? The truth. I don't know. But I know one thing. What? The day my father took that photo, when he came home he looked sick. My mother asked him what happened. He said, something strange happened today. But he didn't give details. Just. Sometimes the camera sees things we can't see. Sarah's hands were sweaty. Do the negatives still exist? Yes. In my father's basement storage. But. Sarah, there's something else you need to know. What? I checked that negative in 2018. Scanned it with a professional scanner. High resolution. And, that child is there. Of course he's there. No, I mean, that child is in the negative too. This isn't a later edition. Not Photoshop. That child, in 1981, with the light passing through that camera lens, was really there. What does that mean? Either that child was really there and everyone forgot him, or what? Or the camera saw something. Something we couldn't see. Sarah contacted Riverside Elementary administration. She wanted to see the official records. 2 weeks later, she arranged a meeting with Brenda, the school secretary. It was hard to find the 1981 records, Brenda said, placing a dusty box on the table. Most haven't been digitized. But I found them. She pulled out a thick file from the box. The cover read, Kindergarten Attendance, 1981 to 82. She opened the pages. Mrs. Eleanor Hartwell. 24 students enrolled. Sarah examined the list. In alphabetical order. 1. Michael Brennan. 2. Christopher Bell. 3. Timothy Brooks. 4. Amy Chan. 5. Samantha Cruz. 6. Robert Davies. 24. Rebecca Owens. 24 names. All clearly written. All signed. All approved. No extra names. Are there any transfer documents? Sarah asked. Anyone who came or left that year? Brenda looked at another file. No. No transfers. 24 children at the start of term. 24 children at the end of term. But there are 25 people in that photo. Brenda looked at the yearbook in front of her. Sarah had brought it. Brenda examined the page for a long time. Then removed her glasses. Rubbed her eyes. This is impossible. I know. But records don't lie. What if the photo doesn't lie either? Brenda looked at her. Uncomfortable. Then we have a problem. Sarah leaned forward. Are there other photos in the school archives? Related to that class? Brenda thought. Maybe. They might be in old slides. We keep them in the old AV room in the basement. Can we look? Brenda hesitated. Then stood up. Come on. The basement was damp and dark. Brenda opened an old metal cabinet. Inside were hundreds of slide boxes. The 1980s weren't archived here properly, she said. But there should be a box labeled 1981 to 82. 10 minutes later they found it. Riverside Elementary School, 1981 to 82, class activities. They opened the box. Inside were 12 plastic slides. Brenda started the old projector. Projected the first slide onto the wall. Christmas show, December 1981. Children on stage. Elf costumes. Singing. Sarah counted the kindergarten children. 24. Second slide. Garden Day, May 1982. Children sitting on grass, planting flowers. Sarah counted. 24. Third slide. Picture Day, April 1981. Sarah's breath caught. This slide was a raw version of the official class photo. But from a different angle. As if the photographer had taken a test slide before taking the official picture. And in this slide, Sarah started counting. 1, 2, 3. 23, 24. 24 children. Brenda counted too. Silently. Then looked at Sarah. There are 24 children in this slide. Yes. But 25 in the official photo. Yes. How is that possible? This is the same day. The same moment. Maybe just a few seconds apart. Sarah was covered in goosebumps. Because now she understood. That child wasn't in the test shot. He was only in the official photo. As if he only existed for that official moment. Sarah couldn't sleep that night. She wrote down all the information. Created a timeline. April 1981, Picture Day, test slide has 24 children. Official photo has 25. May 1981, yearbooks printed. Photo shows 25 children but no one notices. June 1981, Mrs. Hartwell tells children, "We were 24 this year." As if confirming something. 1998 to 2019, Mrs. Hartwell becomes obsessed with this photo. Says, that child shouldn't have been there. 2015 to 2024, 10 different people notice the photo and start investigating. Something was missing. Who was that child? And most importantly, why was he there? Sarah opened the yearbook again. Page 47. That photo. Back row. Red striped shirt. Brown hair. And that smile. That strange, forced smile. Then she saw something. A detail she hadn't noticed before. The child's hand. His left hand was down, at his side. But his right hand was in his pocket. No. Wait. Not in his pocket. His fingers were making a strange shape. As if, a sign. Sarah zoomed in maximum on her phone. And saw it. That child's right hand had 3 fingers up. 2 fingers down. 3. 2. 32. Or 3 halves. February 3rd? Sarah froze. She immediately ran to her computer. Typed, Riverside Elementary, February 3rd, 1981. Results loaded. And then a local newspaper archive appeared. Portland Herald, February 3rd, 1981. Headline. Child's body found near Riverside Elementary. Sarah's heart started pounding wildly. She opened the article. Portland, February 3, 1981, the body of an unidentified child was found in a wooded area 200 meters south of Riverside Elementary School. According to authorities, the victim is a male child aged 5 to 7 years. Due to the condition in which the body was found, identification has been difficult. Police are reviewing missing child reports. Sarah was trembling. She continued. February 4, 1981, update, the identity of the found child has still not been determined. No missing child report matches this description. February 10, 1981, final update, the unidentified child found near Riverside has been buried in the city cemetery. The case has been moved to cold files. Sarah closed her eyes and understood. That child, that unidentified, nameless, unclaimed child, maybe he just wanted to appear once. Once, in a class photo. With other children. Normal. Safe. To be remembered. Sarah still keeps that yearbook today. She never opens page 47. But sometimes in the darkness of night, she hears the yearbook pages rustling. As if someone is opening it. As if someone is looking at that photo. And every time she thinks the same thing. Maybe that child really was there. Maybe it's just us who couldn't see him. Until it was too late. Because sometimes a photograph doesn't just capture a moment. Sometimes a photograph makes someone who didn't exist. And now that child is always there. In 1981, at Riverside Elementary, in Mrs. Hartwell's class, in the back row, wearing a red striped shirt, smiling and waiting for someone to remember him.